Welcome, welcome. Been a while since I've been on here as Nana Prep. It's been since the pandemic took hold. But things have really gone bananas, you know. I had to come on here. I had to come on here and touch base with you all. As you know, Russia has invaded the Ukraine. Okay. And you know, just like you know, let's back up. Let's back up 1 second. I was on here 2 years ago yelling and screaming that y'all need to get ready because something's going to happen. Did dozens of videos on the subject, told you to get ready. And overnight, our lives changed. Forever. Our lives as we know it changed forever. Things will never go back to the way they were. Did we all die? No. And I never said we were all going to die. Okay? Is it a possibility? Always. But I never said we were all. I never said it was going to be the apocalypse. Okay? But the fact of the matter is, I called it. And I feel the need to call it again. So how does what is happening now affect us? Okay? Because right now, it's just on TV, right? You know, this is really the first major conflict, war, to be fully televised, okay? The Vietnam War was televised. It was the first war conflict that was televised. And then, of course, we all remember the Desert Storm and the Afghan wars. Those have all been televised. But this time, okay, we've got people with phones. We've got live feeds. We've got footage that they don't want you to see, basically. You're not going to see this footage on CNN or any of our American broadcasts news stations. Now, the world news is showing a lot different footage than our American news media is sharing with us. Okay, so what has happened? We'll touch base with that again. What has happened so far? Okay, so Putin basically dressed up a bunch of his troops in Ukrainian uniforms with the peace insignias and sent them over the border and invaded the Ukraine. Okay? I mean, we're talking Book of War 101 at this point, right? Now, the world, not just the US, but the world, has responded with sanctions. The equivalent of taking away privileges, okay? Putin doesn't give a shit about our sanctions, okay? Now, if you follow me, you'll know that earlier this week, I shared a video of Putin, okay, out of his own lips, okay, saying, I don't give a shit about your sanctions. And quote unquote, whoever tries to stop us will face consequences never before seen in history. Putin don't care, okay? Putin has an agenda. Putin is on a roll, okay? This has been going on for a while. This isn't just something that he just woke up like last month and decided this was going to happen. No. Trump was over there trying to smooth this over, okay? And to be honest, love him or hate him, Trump was the only one with the right personality to be able to talk to somebody like Putin, okay? And possibly, make a connection to head this crap off. So, sorry, love him or hate him, that was a fact. He had it pretty much done, okay? He had Putin all settled down. And then we all know what happened. Anyway, so, you can get online and you can research all of this. I'm not going to go into it into detail because that's not what this video is about. Okay, today, I just kind of want to give you just a quick rundown. Russia's not going unscathed. I mean, okay, so everyone's sanctioned him, which really doesn't mean a damn thing. However, his stock market, I mean, he's already taken a 45% loss in his stock market. And, everyone has removed him from the SWIFT financial banking system. And if you are not familiar with what the SWIFT financial banking system is that is basically the system all of the financial institutions, every single financial institution worldwide communicates with each other through. And they have removed Russia. All Russian financial banking systems from that network. So they have been isolated financially. Any Russian person holding money in any other country is unable to access it at this time. Okay? Now, we all know that one of the first things Russia did to the Ukraine was kick them off the internet, okay? Screw up their internet. These were all just little things that were just warnings and precursors of what's to come. Okay? Putin has stated he is not totally against using nuclear weapons. Okay? Now, I can tell you, practical-wise, he probably is not going to use nuclear weapons unless he really gets pissed off. Which, the guy is kind of... he's teetering at this point. So, but, anytime you nuke, okay, a country or nuke ground, you ruin it. Okay? So it's going to be no good to you. So, it's not like, these leaders want to go around nuking everybody because you ruin the land. Look at Chernobyl. How many years later and you still cannot use any of that ground? They can't even go onto it without being super protected. So, that's not going to be his first thing. Now, I want you to change how you think about this, though. Because when we think about nuking, we think, boom, and everything's gone, like the whole country. No, it doesn't have to be that way. Okay, it doesn't have to be that way. They can nuke an area, okay? Just an area. Say, the size of Chernobyl, okay? In the same way as a nuclear accident would nuke an area of that size, of any size. And it would only devastate that area, okay? I mean, they can control how big they do that. And we've been lucky so far, we think. We haven't been as lucky as we think we have, but, Fukushima, that was an accident. Chernobyl. We've been lucky in that it affected regions, it affected areas, but as far as we here in the United States, we went fairly unscathed, okay? But we've been lucky, okay? Because even though, say, the bomb doesn't land on our laps, we may have to deal with contamination of our food chains, of our food supplies, of our fishes, of our oceans. Okay? You know, the weather could blow things over here in the atmosphere and then they drop. Okay? These are all things that can occur. Okay? Now, we don't know yet. We're waiting to see how this financial blow up that Russia is having due to their decision to wage war is going to affect our financial system. We're kind of seeing it with gas in certain places at this point. We've already had a food problem. It's probably going to get worse. You have to understand what Ukraine does for us. You have to understand what Russia does for us. The farmers are probably set up to do pretty well because you've got some competition that's been kicked out of the game for right now. And which is great. That's like one of the only great things. But you know, we don't know yet how this is going to affect us. And just one more thing before we go into what this video is really about. You know, let's not forget China. Okay? You know, China sitting back there and they're on their golden thrones with their binoculars faced at Taiwan. Okay, well, so far they haven't done anything. Okay, so far, knock on wood. And some say that they can't. They won't be able to do anything. If you go to the Atlantic Council, okay, that's the atlanticcouncil.org, okay, you know, their points are that, yes, China does want Taiwan. They want to, you know, have their one China back. But basically China, they lack the military capability and capacity to launch a full-scale amphibious invasion of Taiwan, okay, for the foreseeable future. Taiwan has a defending force of over 450,000. If you're using the traditional 3-to-1 ratio taught in war college, okay, China would need over 1.2 million soldiers and that's out of an active force of 2 million. They would have to be transported in many thousands of ships, okay? And although Beijing is unlikely to launch a full-scale invasion of Taiwan, given Chinese strength, autocratic government, and ambitions, the United States cannot totally ignore the risk of attack. So even though right now, and they're clear to say right now, they'd be kind of dumb to do this, it's not completely out of the realm of not happening. And, you know, they suggest that Washington develop an overall strategy designed to deter the most likely scenarios, such as imposing economic and financial embargoes on Taiwan, imposing maritime blockades on the island, attempting a regime change from within. China does have many other options for pursuing Taiwan. So unlike Russia, who's been working on this for a minute, China hasn't been really doing anything. Okay? Now, they're going to be looking for these things to start taking place. That's how we knew this was going to happen, because Putin started doing things. Okay? Preparing. So we knew it was coming. So, right now, we don't need to worry about China, but you know what? That could change tomorrow. Fact is, that could change tomorrow. But right now, they're sitting quiet. They're sitting quiet. They're waiting to see. You know, my opinion only, they're waiting to see what Putin's doing, what he's going to accomplish, because the weaker he can make the board, the easier it will be for China to step over here and do their shenanigans. You know, if Putin's got everybody busy over here, China will do their thing over here. So, that could change any day. But the reason I'm bringing this up, okay, is because even though the chances of us getting a nuclear bomb landing in our lap is nil, but never zero, we still can suffer the effects of nuclear fallout from a nuclear attack of a smaller scale, of a region, okay? We also need to be worrying about EMPs, because one thing Putin has made clear, and he has, you know, let me reiterate again the video I made, probably 4 or 5 years ago at this point, of the DoD report given to President Trump regarding our infrastructure with our internet and how we basically can't protect ourselves. Okay? And we continue to get hit numerous times a day from China and Russia. Okay? And down south too. Numerous times a day we get tagged. Okay, meaning we test, we poke the fence. They are poking the fence all the time, and the fact of the matter is, we still are not able to protect ourselves. Okay, so one of the first things Putin's going to do, if he wants to shut the U.S. up, is set an EMP off above us, which is going to throw our grid down. Okay. Now, is it going to be a permanent thing? No, it will not be a permanent thing. It could last months, okay? It just depends. It just depends on the damage that it does. Will kick us off the internet, would possibly kick us off the power grid, okay? This is a real threat right now. It's always been a threat, okay? Even though I haven't been on here for 2 years reminding you that these things are still a threat, okay? None of it's changed. It's still a threat. But now, it's a real threat. It's a real threat, because Putin has said, I don't care. I don't care. I do not care. Okay? He has made it clear. So, what are you going to do? What are you going to do when the lights go out? What are you going to do when you can't get your money? Okay? Not that money's going to be worth much for very long, but the fact of the matter is, again, it's going to be temporary. Yeah. You know, here 2 years ago, what did we see? Even though I was on here telling people, it's a simple thing. Find a corner in the closet. Stock up on stuff. People went bananas over toilet paper. People went bananas over baby formula. People went bananas over meat. And that was just over COVID. That wasn't even, I mean, we're talking, that wasn't even a real disaster. Okay? Not even a real disaster. It was a pandemic. Okay? That should have been expected. Okay? It was long overdue. And we'd been there before. We've seen it before. And we never learn anything from it. So what are you going to do this time? What are you going to do when we, you know, there are some stores that can't even take cash. And if it all goes down, the networks go down, and they're not able to take your credit card or your debit card or your PayPal or your Venmo or your Cash App or any of the other multitudes of ways to pay nowadays. How are you going to get anything? How are you going to buy anything? And I don't want to hear the excuse, yeah, I am chewing you out, because I watched it go down 2 years ago, which is kind of almost why I haven't been back on, because no one listens. No one listens. What are you going to do? You know, this time? Do you have cash? Because what's going to happen is the cash you got in your pocket or your underwear drawer or whatever is the cash you're going to have. That's what you're going to have. You know, there's so many people that are so wealthy, but are they wealthy? Are they wealthy? They're wealthy as long as the computers stay running. But the fact of the matter is, something happens to those systems, they won't have a dime. Not a dime. And I say it over and over, you know, and I get it. You know, you want to invest, you want to keep your money in a bank or whatever. I get it. But why would you keep all of it there? I don't. I do have a little savings account. Okay? Little. Okay? But the majority of my money is stashed. And I keep it that way. I keep money in the bank because, you know, we all need to. You got to pay bills. That's the way we pay bills nowadays. You know, I send money to my kids digitally. So there's always going to be a little bit of money in the bank. But the fact is, if the banks go down, I'm not destitute. All my money is not in the bank. All my money is not in the bank. I have more money stashed than I have in the bank. And that's the way I will always keep it. Okay? That way, I don't got to worry about it. I don't got to worry about how I'm going to get stuff. You know, or what's going to go down. If, say, we have a Fukushima, Hiroshima, Chernobyl type event, man-made though, of course, I guess those were as well, but you know what I'm saying. Small scale bombing, nuclear bomb. What will we have to worry about? Well, we have to worry about our food supply and the food that we get from other places, okay? Being tainted with radiation. We have to worry about the fish that we are eating being tainted with radiation. So what you need to do, as far as we're going to assume that that's not going to happen here in America, that we are just going to be experiencing the fallout from another area, okay? So what you need to do is you need to be researching, okay, ways to remove radiation from your water supply and from your body, because it can be passed. For instance, when Chernobyl went down, they found that apple pectin, they started giving all the kids apple juice because the apple pectin removed something like 137 cesium, okay, uptake from the Ukrainian children. Okay, and what that means is the pectin bound itself to the radiation and then allowed the body to expel it. That's a big deal. Okay? That's a big deal. So you need to do your research up with that. And here's the thing. You're not going to want to go buy apple juice and apples after the event. Do you understand what I'm saying? You've got to store and buy this stuff before the event. Now, how do you store apple juice? How do you store apples? You can't store apples. You can can them. You can absolutely can them. Okay, that would be my advice as far as the apples go. In water, nothing else. Just slice them up, put them in a jar, add water, add a little bit of lemon juice, and can them. Okay, water bath canning, not even pressure canning. Easy, easy, easy. In fact, maybe I'll do a video on it. Apple juice as well can be canned for a while, okay? I would pressure can that, however, at that point, so that it might, I'd be afraid of it fermenting, is what I'm saying. You can also buy powdered pectin, powdered fruit pectin, in the canning aisle, okay? This can be mixed with water and drink. That's what I would store, to be perfectly honest. I would go buy some boxes of powdered pectin. I would vac seal them in either a jar or just bags, okay? And put them in the cellar. That's what I would do. But you don't want to be waiting till after the fact, because then you're dealing with having to worry about, are these apples, have they been tainted? Okay? So, you've got to watch for that. Now, I know most of you are familiar with the Berkey water systems. Berkey does make a filter, I think it's called the black filter, that will filter radiation out of your water. Okay, you're going to want that as well. Because water moves all over the world, okay? All you need is radiation-tainted clouds to come over here from across the pond and then rain somewhere in America. That's all it takes. And now you've dropped radiation-tainted water into our groundwater. It's as easy as that, and it's as simple as that. So these are things that these are the immediate things that you're going to need to worry about right now. So right now, well, before things get out of hand, okay, make sure you've got some meat stored, be it canned or frozen, okay? I would always suggest can both, really. Just do both, okay? Fruit, food of all kinds, okay? And don't tell me you don't have room. Do not tell me you don't have room. I don't want to hear the crap about I don't have room, okay? You do have room. You've got room under your bed. You've got room in your closet. You've got room somewhere. I guarantee it, okay? You can store something. Water, very important, okay? Store the water. If the grid does go down, you're going to lose fresh water. You're going to lose water and you're going to lose sewer, okay? A way to filter water. Get a way to filter water. So if you've got a filter hooked to your sink, can you use that away from your sink? Make sure that you've got a way to filter water. Situation like what we're getting ready to go through, I wouldn't worry too much. At least I don't worry so much about having to bug out. It's going to be more of, how am I going to survive? Because we're going to survive. How am I going to survive if I don't have internet? How am I going to survive if I don't have electricity? Okay. How am I going to survive if for a minute, and I mean for a minute, if the grid goes down, see what's going to happen is things are going to stop for a second, okay? You're not going to be able to go to the store because the store is going to close until they can figure out how to do business off grid. They're going to close. They won't close permanently, but they may close for a week or so. So that's what I'm saying. You need to make sure you've got enough to get you by for a week or so. preferably a month or so. Okay? The food, get the powdered milk. Even if it's ramen. No, ramen's horrible for you. But you know what? It is going to fill your belly. And it's cheap. Because that's the other thing I hear. Well, I can't afford to do all that. Look, nobody is broker than me. I guarantee it. Okay? You can do it. Buy the ramen. Buy the mac and cheese. Buy the hamburger helpers. You can make them without hamburger. You really can. Buy the packaged noodles. Okay? The little Knorr, K-N-O-R, the side dishes. These are freeze-dried things that will last forever. Okay? And they're small, compact, do not take a lot of space. Okay? And it's going to be carbs, and it's going to be things that stick. Grandma used to always say, stick to your ribs. These are going to be things that stick to your ribs, okay? I'm going to reiterate, water. Water is cheap, okay? You can get like a big thing of water for $3 at the Dollar General or the Family Dollar. Nothing's stopping you from getting that, okay? Again, find a place behind the couch, under the bed, in the closet, in the bathroom closet, somewhere. I guarantee you've got space for something. Okay? Do not assume you're going to be able to run out real quick. Because you're not. Okay? This is not going to be an apocalyptic event. I hope. Okay? But we're going to assume that it is not. However, as weak as we are, coming off of this pandemic, this could be disastrous. This could be a national disaster. My biggest concern at this point is Putin getting pissy and throwing an EMP above us. That's what's got me concerned the most. Because that takes away your ability to buy food and things. Okay? Not permanently, no. But if you don't have enough food to get you by until they get things back up and running to where you can buy food again, then you're screwed. And you and I both know how this can happen overnight. Overnight. Just like it happened 2 years ago. Just like we were all at work that day on the March 20th, 2019. And we all got the call saying, doors are shutting down, go home. Doors are shutting, go home. Some people are still home. Okay? And people rushed the stores. Luckily, we're able to, but they also emptied the shelves as well, so that's all, that's all I want to talk about today, is just the fact that 2 years ago, we had a trial run. We had a test, and we all failed. Now, I didn't fail. I was okay. I have a spine. But a lot of people failed. They don't believe things like this can happen. So keep your eye out. Watch the world news when you can. CNN and all that's fine. But watch the world news when you can. Because let me tell you, what I have discovered is the United States has a really good way of controlling the perspective. You understand what I'm saying? They completely control our perspective of what's going on. I have clients that live in other countries that also tell me how people feel. Okay? We're nothing. We are nothing anymore, okay? I don't care how patriotic you want to be. I salute you for it. That's great. Doesn't change anything. Okay? You can think what you want. reality is, it's not going to take much for him to bop us on the head and put us out for a second. And what it'll do is it'll put us out and get us off his back. That's the thing. That's the thing about it. It's not that he wants to destroy us or nuke us or any of that. If he's got us shut down, we got to deal with our business, and we're off his back for a second. It's simple. That's why it concerns me so much, because it's what I would do. It's what I would do. Anyway, take care. Take care. Watch the world news. Make sure you've got some water stored, okay? And some food stored. Preferably 3 weeks. Hopefully, if we get bopped, it won't take them that long to get us back up and running, okay? But just in case, I'll do some more videos about canning some apples, okay? That's an easy thing I think we can do, that everybody can do. So, save some jars, save the pickle jars and stuff, especially jars that are the size to fit canning lids. Yes, the Food and Drug is going to tell you you cannot reuse jars, but I'm here to tell you I do it all the time. And if you don't have the money to buy jars, that's fine. Start saving some jars, okay? Lids and rings are back in stock in most places. They were out after the pandemic. So, save those jars in particular, like pickle jars. Those fit, the smaller pickle, the 16-ounce pickle jars. Those fit regular canning jar lids. A lot of glass mayonnaise jars do. Save them. Save those jars. That way you don't have to buy jars. All you have to do is buy the lids and the rings, okay? And, you know, get some apples stored up. Go get some pectin, the powdered pectin, and, any of the other simple things that you can get to help clean things up for yourself, in case we need to worry about nuclear contamination. Anyway, I love you all. Hopefully I will not have to come back on here, but things are changing quickly, just like they did 2 years ago. So, I'll be back if I need to be. Anyway, Nana Prep out.